Alright, so this is a video called Oxygen by Zauntee. Zauntee. Yes, Zauntee. I love this guy's music, so, I mean, this guy, like, puts out, like, really good, energetic, like, I mean, I love his music. So we're gonna listen to him, Zauntee, Oxygen. Here we go. That's strange.
You're my oxygen, I can't live without you. And I apologize for all the times I doubt you. Cause you've been waiting all this time to give me purpose and bring me life. So here tonight, oxygen, I'm all about you. I breathe you in. You're my oxygen, I can't live without you.
Like I said, bro, this guy brings in like the beat. He brings in his lyrics. It is so catchy. He brings in music I can just listen to all day. Now, I know this probably has nothing to do with the video, but the fact that it's named Oxygen and he's like, I can't live without you. For some reason, that reminded me of today's Bible study that we did. And we talked about how to love your enemies. It talked about also how it tells us, you know, I tell you to love, but doesn't the tax collector do that too? Do you not meet with your brethren or, you know, your friends or whatever? But also, doesn't the tax collector do that? When I hear this verse, when I hear that, I'm gonna pull it up because we're doing a Bible study on Matthew and we just got done with chapter 5. New King James Version. This is the version I like to read, so call me an abomination if you like King James Version only. You have heard that it was said, you shall love your neighbor and hate your enemy. But I say to you, love your enemies, bless those who curse you, do good to those who hate you, and pray for those who spitefully use you and persecute you. Now, we all know this whole thing. So verses 43 all the way to 44. I mean, you can read the Beatitudes and know what to do about that. 45, that you may be sons of your Father in heaven, for he makes his sun rise on the evil and on the good, and sends rain on the just and on the unjust. What do you guys get from that verse? Because when I read that, I heard and I understood it as God, his grace, his mercy, his laws, his attributes apply to every single person on this world, good or evil. So when I just heard this, oxygen, I need it to breathe. I got that from that God is there providing life for every single person, no matter if you're good or you're evil. He provides the sun to rise on the good and the evil. I love it. I don't know. That's the great thing about music. You can just go anywhere with music.
And I apologize for all the times I doubt you. Cause you've been waiting all this time to give me purpose and bring me life. So here tonight, oxygen, I'm all about you. I breathe you in, you're my oxygen.
There's some people that think that having doubt and doubting is a sin. But I like to bring up, if doubting is a sin, then wouldn't doubting about doubting be a sin too? Like it's a sin to worry, but you're worrying in order not to worry. You know what I mean? It's like this whole idea of doubt it's not a bad thing. I think doubt actually brings you closer to God, and it should be. So a lot of people become doubtful about like the existence of God or who Christ is, and they don't search and they don't reach and they don't look for help to understand who Christ is. That's where it becomes dangerous, when you just kind of give up. Where instead, I think doubting is good because it should drive you to go and search more. It should drive you to go into the scriptures and search more and study on topics. One example is nowadays women's rights. Okay, so a lot of people say that, you know, the Bible teaches us to disrespect women into they're just our slaves. Okay, that's what some people actually believe, that we are to disrespect and the women didn't have a right to speak and blah blah blah, this and that. I would argue against that and say that women actually had a more of a better example on them than men did overall. I think the Bible actually showed more better stuff about the women than they did the men. Because if you look at all the scripture, there's about 14 women or something like that that's like mentioned in scripture. Okay, there was like 2 of them that were really bad. The rest of them were good. Okay, and they did what God told them to do, and they obeyed their husbands and etc. Whereas the men in scripture, it's so funny because I think it's so funny when you look at scripture, because it paints a worse picture for men and a better picture for the women. Because the men we disobeyed God, turned our backs from him. We were great leaders, and then we fell for sin over and over again. It's amazing when you read even the new scriptures and this whole idea that women don't have rights, etc. And I don't know how I'm getting into this conversation watching this video, but I'm gonna talk about this just for one more minute, that women don't have any rights in scripture. Well, guess what? That was a cultural thing. If women did not have any rights to speak, talk, or whatever, they wouldn't have included Mary's words, Mary Magdalene's words in scripture, or any of the women's words in scripture, Old Testament and New Testament. Matter of fact, I would argue that the men, I would say, were more gullible and more ashamed in scripture than ever. Think about it. The women went and found the tomb of Jesus empty. They came back and the men just kind of doubted. They didn't believe, but the women did. The women did.
Been a while since we've talked, and I mean since we've really talked. I've been living life safe, it's been causing this distance from you, but now I know it's my fault. You said you draw near to me if I draw near to you, and seek the kingdom first to find a clearer view. I need less of me and need more of you. I was looking for the light, you never left my side. You're my oxygen, I can't live without you. Yeah, and I apologize for all the times I doubt you. Cause you've been waiting all this time to give me purpose and bring me life. So here tonight, oxygen, I'm all about you. I breathe you in, you're my oxygen.
Bro, don't even apologize. This is the thing. Don't worry about and don't waste your time apologizing, but instead ask for Christ to give you more faith. Help you, you know? Don't apologize for anything. Doubt is normal in people's minds. I doubt sometimes, even with a lot of the stuff in scripture, but it drives me to understand and to understand him as God in Christ. And, you know, sometimes it's like, how did God come down in flesh, you know? And then you got to research it. So it's not doubt that's the problem. It's your drive to understand, your search to want to know. That's the problem. If you're doubting and you don't do anything, that's your problem. But if you're doubting and you're searching and you're looking in the right places and you're really going to church and you're asking people to take you under their wings, that's what you got to do. You got to let that doubt drive you to succeed, to want to understand who God is.
I wanna breathe you in, I need you here with me. I wanna see your face, you're everything I need. Already went my way, but now I'm on my knees. I'm only still alive because you carried me, and you brought me through the valley, and you kept me through the storm. You got resurrection power and the answer for my soul. And you've been calling my name, calling my name, calling my name. Since the day I was born, you've been calling my name, calling my name.
Loving this, dude. This is awesome.
Calling me, oh, draw near to me, I'm drawn near to you. I seek the kingdom first to find a clearer view. I need less of me and need more of you. Already look to the light, but you are by my side. You're my oxygen, I can't live without you. Yeah, and I apologize for all the times I doubt you. Yeah, 'cause you've been waiting all this time to bring me purpose and give me life. So here tonight, oxygen, I'm all about you. I breathe you in, you're my oxygen. You're oxygen, you're my oxygen. I breathe you in, you're my oxygen. Everything I need. You're my oxygen, I can't live without you.
Bro, I wish every single Christian artist had the same energy as Zauntee. I really do. Like, I really do. I wish that every Christian had the same energy as Zauntee when it comes to just being in love with Christ and wanting to know him and draw near to him. Dude, I love it. Oh, I love it, dude. Oh, I'm gonna put this on repeat. Bro, I just... Zauntee. Again, this is probably the best. I was listening to Jesus Calls My Name and another song of his, like, just over and over again. But now this here, this is gonna take it's all. I mean, this is gonna take its place. I mean, this song is just. I'd put this first. Jesus Called My Name 2, and then there's another one that I really like. Die for You, number 3. So I would have to say that. I love it, dude.